international team of climate researchers have released a new study warning the planet could soon cross a threshold of no return, where the planet will literally be boiling with hot temperatures in a few hundred years. The fear that things like forests, Arctic sea ice, methane from the ocean floors will no longer be able to help stop massive amounts of carbon dioxide from being released into the atmosphere. Just days ago, the American Meteorological Society reported that last year, 2017, was one of the hottest in recorded history. With me now in studio, Professor Colin Price. He's an atmospheric sciences expert with Tel Aviv University. Professor, thanks for being with us. These reports, just another bit of evidence that conclude that our planet warming now faster than it's ever been in modern history. Is it a runaway train situation? The things that protect us now from, will they continue to protect us even in our lifetime? Things like the methane in the forest, are they gone?
Well, what the scientists are worried about are what we call tipping points, that we get to some stage where we can't go back. And some of these are, for example, the permafrost, which has got methane locked underground, frozen ground in the northern high latitudes, Canada, Siberia. Once those thaw out because of the warming temperatures, if methane is released into the atmosphere, it's a very strong greenhouse gas. It's very difficult to put that back in the ground underneath, and it'll be there for thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of years.
Is it a very, as dangerous and deadly and disastrous as this is this a very slow march of global warming? Is it something that will affect in our lives, our children's lives?
I think it's already affecting us. You just had the thing about the fires
Yes.
on the news. I think these are all symptoms of a sick planet. Basically, the planet has got a fever. It's got a fever of one degree warming already in the last 100 years. If you compare it to our bodies, a few degrees warming, we're in hospital, we could be dead. And so the same with the planet. The predictions are for another few degrees warming. And if we pass this threshold, which we actually don't know what the threshold is because it's the first time we're doing this experiment, but it could be 1 or 2 more degrees, things may get out of control with the methane or the melting of the ice caps.
And then it spirals, really. Then we have no barrier.
Another example is the ice caps in Greenland. If that melts, to put all that ice back on land instead of being in the ocean with sea level rise could take tens of thousands of years.
Professor, you mentioned in the last 100 years, really in the modern times, a full degree, which is an incredible increase in just a few generations. Is that exacerbating? Is it accelerating now?
It is accelerating, and the better data we have, because we have data going back 100, 200 years, but it wasn't that great then, didn't cover the whole planet. Now, in the last 50 years, we have much better data, and we see that we have an acceleration in the warming. Things are going faster, and we don't really know what's going to be in the future. So we already got to take care.
Besides the big, obviously researchers and scientists track all kinds of data. But the public, they see the wildfires and know conditions are unusually hot or dry. They know the heat wave is causing deaths and people to get sick. But are there smaller signs too? Just very small signs that are just as troubling from a scientific standpoint as something as visual as a fire?
Well, we see things, for example, changes in the acidity of the oceans, which are actually due to carbon dioxide being absorbed in the oceans. Carbon dioxide causes acid even in rainfall.
Yeah.
And this is affecting ecosystems, fish in the ocean. So we don't see major natural disasters, but we can see changes in fisheries, changes in the ecosystems in the oceans. Many things in forests are dying out. Various insects which are propagating through forests, which in the past were killed during the winter when you had a cold snap, are now surviving and are killing off forests. So there are many things which are happening all over the globe which are related to global warming. There's no evidence that the planet is cooling.
Anything that can be done in the short term to stop it? Even, let's say, these deadly heat waves in Japan, and they don't have air conditioning normally. So even places that don't use AC, they now need to use AC to stay safe.
So there's adaptation, which is to put an air conditioner in your house, but adaptation just delays the problem, really.
Yeah.
We need to actually mitigate the problem, and there are solutions. Going to renewable energies, we have to move away from fossil fuels. Within this region of the world, also geopolitically, it's correct to do that. But there are solutions. Germany, for example, plans to be free of fossil fuels by 2030. And they're a leading economy in the world, so it's possible.